This week in e-commerce news, this week in e-commerce radio, YouTube and Shopify are partnering up to create a new store style. TikTok is going to be banned and retail stores are overstocking. All this and more coming up.
This is the Ecommerce Radio Show, where it's all about using the internet to generate revenue. And now your host, David Weinstein.
All right. Hello again. Welcome back to Ecommerce Radio. I am your host, David Weinstein, and today we're trying a different format. First off, you'll notice that my partner, John, is not here. That's because I murdered him. No, actually, no, just kidding. Just kidding. If John comes up murdered, I didn't actually kill him. The reason being is that John has a special birthday that he has to celebrate with his son. By special birthday, I mean it's just his birthday. It's not like that special. But anyway, he has his own thing going on today. And so I decided that we still wanted to do an episode of e-commerce radio. So we decided to switch up the format, create a little bit more of a news section, and then bring this news to you. And so, yeah, I know it's been a couple weeks since we posted an episode. I've been super busy with going to different weddings, and then last week getting sick and doing the responsible thing and staying home. And so, but it gave me more time to prep for this, gave me more time to think about this format, which I'm grateful for, and we're going to share with you. So first big news that we want to share with you this fine Friday afternoon. Let's see if I can get my screen share working and continue to dish this out. But the first big piece of news that we wanted to talk about, and this is actually a little bit from last week, but YouTube rolls out a new shopping feature announcing a partnership with Shopify. YouTube announced today that they are launching several new shopping features, both for viewers and creators. Most notably, YouTube is partnering with Shopify to allow creators and merchants to feature their products, their channels. Eligible creators can now link their Shopify store to their YouTube channel. With this partnership, creators who link their stores can display their products across the channel and leverage Shopify real-time inventory syncing, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, this is really, really huge news for Shopify and for influencers and creators. I mean, it's great news for us. I mean, we're starting off on YouTube, and now if we create a Shopify store, we can just like throw our merch at your faces, and hopefully you'll buy some of our t-shirts and stuff like that. But it's also bad news for any parents out there who's given their credit card information to their children. First off, why would you do that in the first place? But now YouTube creators will have a little bit of a better chance to sell merchandise to your kids. But this is, on a more serious note, this is, again, I feel for Shopify. I feel like this is a really good news for Shopify, and I feel really bad about WooCommerce. Because the way I see it is that I'm primarily a WooCommerce developer. And seeing that Shopify is continuing to innovate and continue to reach out to different platforms and integrate their website with these popular platforms is really scary to me. I feel like the WooCommerce site right now is kind of like the New York Jets, where they have a lot of accolades and it's in their past, and maybe they're not quite catching up with the times. Maybe they're not quite using the West Coast offense, efficiently. If you're into sports, I don't know if you are, but it definitely is a little bit scary seeing that WooCommerce is not doing a lot. And quite frankly, we've talked about it before on the podcast. WooCommerce is not the greatest in terms of user experience. Shopify does do a lot better in terms of like the common everyday user. So it will be interesting to see how that divide continues to grow. Also, it'll be interesting to see if this causes YouTubers and influencers to start using Shopify and start pushing that as kind of the primary website builder for just like the average everyday folks. Right now, I would still say that whenever I watch a YouTube video, whenever it comes to the ad reads, it's always Squarespace. Like, hey, do you want to build a site with Squarespace? It's like the easiest thing on earth. Yeah, look, the user interface, oh, so good, right? I created this website and it's just about a banana. And so like that's the kind of stuff I hear from YouTube creators all the time. But now with Shopify integrating with YouTube, I feel like that the tone might shift just a little bit. And speaking of social media and speaking about a little bit more about social media influencers, let's go ahead and get to our next story here. Yeah, don't show these super again. Our next story here. The entire screen. All right. big news. FCC commissioner calls on Google and Apple to ban the TikTok app. A member of the Federal Communications Commission is calling Apple and Google to remove TikTok from their app stores over concerns that user data and from the wildly popular social media platform is being accessed in China. In a tweet Tuesday, FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr shared a letter addressed to Tim Cook and I'm going to totally butcher this name. Sundar Pichai. Pichai, the chief executive of Apple and Google parent Alphabet, respectively. He raised concerns over TikTok's Chinese ownership, saying that it harvests swaths of sensitive data that new reports are showing to being accessed in Beijing. All right, so let's unpack this a little bit here as we continue on our way. But I think this is a really interesting news. As funny as I think the idea of people in China being like that specific people in China are being hired to steal our data of like little children dancing on TikTok. This is pretty big news. FCC compliance and the FCC being concerned that China is stealing our data is a legitimate concern, I feel. And so, but I don't know if this will pass through. It'll be really interesting to see what the pushback is on this. There's already been a lot of pushback. A lot of creators are coming out saying that, trying to protect their stream of revenue being that of TikTok. And TikTok has been really good for the e-commerce business, growing your organic traffic, getting a little bit more business to customer interface. And just overall, I feel like this would be a really big blow if businesses were to lose TikTok. And so it'll be kind of interesting to see how the FCC will handle this situation. I think this is another good example of why diversifying is really important. If you are using TikTok very often, I would highly recommend start doing more Instagram Reels. We've talked about that in the past too. But Instagram Reels have been popping off a lot lately. I feel like the saturation level is getting a little bit high, but you know what? You still gotta hustle to make $1. So if you have to start moving over your platform from TikTok to Instagram, I would do that just in case this FCC compliance thing does in fact go through. So, third story of the day. And why? Third story of the day is, speaking of customers and speaking about customer shopping habits, retailers are drowning in inventory, apparently. And so Target, TGG 2.5, is the latest retailer to reveal that it bought too much stuff and will need to take aggressive action to get inventory levels back in line. These moves will include canceling orders and hitting a lot of products with the old markdown gun. CEO Brian Cornell warns investors that profit margins will contact the near term, while sounding that's a lot of topic stuff. What's kind of interesting, let's go down to this paragraph here. The first shift towards this shift is towards customer spending more on services. After 2 years of COVID-induced cocooning, folks are heading back out to shows, dinners, travels, and more. Other shifts are what customers are buying. A rebalancing in apparel and accessories is the most obvious, as occasion-based buying and coming out of a period of extended hibernation at the expense of casual athleisure merchandise. So I bring this up to bring this. I think that the current shopper right now is looking for something a little bit different, right? As we are like e-commerce, we tend to basically look at our product, we put it on our store, and then we sell it on our store. And we need to start thinking about ways to get a little bit more better customer interaction from that. Now, we have an example of this where one of our stores that we're helping out currently, they have a subscription box. And so what they're doing is they're sending out a monthly box out to multiple customers on a monthly basis. And we thought, okay, that's a good product. That's a good product, good sales tactic on its own. However, what would be more interesting is if you took that product and you put in a little card that said live feed, and then have people scan that card, and then they would go to a live feed or a live show, kind of like we're doing right now. That would be really cool. Of you unboxing the products, explaining what the products are, explaining how to use them. And we thought that would give a little bit more of a community aspect to their product. And I think that's what people are kind of looking for right now. And, last 2 years we spent all this time indoors, and now people are realizing just like how important community is, how important other people are, and they're coming together. At least that's the optimist in me talking. If you're completely nihilistic and you just completely enjoyed the lockdown, you're not my type of person. I'm sorry. I'm revealing that on live air, but that's just how it is right now. That's just how I am with people. But moving right along, the final story and the final story. Speaking of weird, disastrous trends that are going on in the world today, is this Radioshack story that I found right before coming on air. That's right. Radioshack would like to clarify its Twitter account wasn't hacked. It just sells crypto now. And oh, how the mighty have fallen. Electronic Radioshack said it was not hacked on Twitter, and several of its tweets filled with vulgarities and expletives caused widespread confusion. In fact, the person behind Radioshack's official Twitter account tweeted Wednesday that they knew that the tweets would go viral because they were fire AF. No, we did not get hacked. And no, I am not fired, the tweet read. The company is now a crypto platform called Radioshack Crypto, which prompted many on Twitter to speculate that the posts were a way to gain publicity, and the brand's name was trending on Twitter on Wednesday afternoon into Thursday. First off, if you're a person who likes Twitter, again, you're not my type of people. I think that Twitter is such a cesspool of confusing and angry people just shouting their opinions online, and this is no different. But if you're a Twitter user who also sells crypto, I'm also not vibing with you. I think it is so funny that this came from NBC.com. I think it's so funny that you have to tweet on Twitter that that you didn't lose your job. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous how these crypto companies and these kind of crypto scam companies will use kind of this more aggressive, like bro-y mentality. And John's not here to defend cryptocurrency. He's more of the public defender of it. Me, I absolutely despise it. I know that I look like a stereo crypto bro. I got this like spiky hair. I got the glasses. I got this like nice bluish shirt, right? But in all honesty, like I'm kind of like an old man who's just like, keep that stuff away from me, you whippersnappers, because I don't understand it and never quite will. I did buy a little bit of cryptocurrency, and I did ride the fan wave earlier in January, and that turned out to be a little bit of a bad decision, as I ended up going from $500 to about $200 or so. So that was kind of my experience with crypto so far. I think it's interesting how these companies are positioning themselves, how Radioshack used to be this like go in at home. Like I remember when I was a kid going into Radioshack, going with my dad to buy computer projects and and to build a computer. And then ultimately, because my dad was in the military, watch him swear as he tries to like build all these, bring all these things together, and how it has this physical product and how it basically completely sold itself out and to be just a crypto coin base. I think it's very interesting that that's kind of the way it's going. I still don't understand crypto. And when I look back on this clip in about, I don't know, like 25 years, when all my friends are rich because they've all invested in cryptocurrency, and I'm like the one person who held out and was like, nah, not even going to bother with that. Maybe I'll regret it, but I don't know. It's just not really something for me. Anyway, with all that said, that was the format of today's show. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you could, give a like and subscribe, so that way we can trick John into thinking that this is a good format, and that we can continue doing this, so that you and I can spend a little bit of alone time together. Because I do like spending alone time with you. It really is more fun for me to kind of have this kind of one-on-one interaction with the camera. As far as other things that are going on, if you give us a like and follow on the show, that would be really awesome. This episode will also be posted in podcast format and probably be re-edited as to get rid of some of the kind of awkward pauses and stuff like that were going on. Also, I think that some of the video transitions could be a little bit tighter, but we're working on it. This is a new format. We're doing what we can, and we're seeing what works. Leave a comment if you have any interesting news stories that are coming out of the e-commerce world that you want me or John to talk about. Anyway, all this and more. All right. Have a good rest of the Friday evening.